Hey, class, welcome back to another installment of questions from Mr. McCray. Today's questions are going to come from Trendy V, from Avea, from Will, and from Jaden. Trendy V is asking, would you catch us up on work if we need help? The answer is absolutely. Um, you got three lines of support. Uh, First of all, the support that you can expect from me in class as well as during lunch. The second line of support that you have is um, the weekly blog that I have, where I've uploaded all of the lessons from the week and the weeks past, is really there for you. And the third line of support, guys, comes from the homework hotline that I shared with some of you guys. And the other piece that I probably couldn't mention is if your parents can transport you home, I can make Monday and Tuesdays days that we can do after school tutoring in preparation for Wednesday. But your parents have to make arrangements for transportation. Okay, next question from AV. Do you want to have friendship with each child in classroom? I think, yeah, relationships are so important. Um, I guess I want a little bit, add to just having a friendship. I really want to have be a mentor. Sometimes friends can tell you what you want to hear, but won't tell you what you need to hear. Whereas a mentor is going to give you that whole this they're going to get encourage you, but then they're also going to share with you some things that you need to be mindful of. So relationship, absolutely. Friendship, let's have a mentorship. I'd like to be your mentee and mentor. How long have you been teaching? Will ask. I've been teaching for a long time, guys. When I first got into teaching, my 21-year-old was 5 years old, 6 years old. Didn't start out as a math teacher. I started out as a science teacher. I've been able to do it wrong for a couple of years, and now I figured out how to do it right. And Jaden's asking, what kind of stuff will we be learning in class this year? That's a great question, Jaden. And so we have 9 things that are going to be on that Regents exam, and I'm going to just breeze through each one of them. The first thing that's going to be on that Regents exam is functions, questions around functions. We started talking about functions a little bit um, last week with the calculator, but they can be represented in multiple ways, and you need to be able to share when something is in a graph form, how to actually use the calculator to get information from that. You guys won't have any problems with that. We're gonna, kill the graphing calculator. Second thing that we got to cover, and this is what I expect to do in the month of October, is not only do you understand what functions are, but specifically linear functions. These are the functions that they create a straight line. You guys talked about proportional relationships. The difference between a proportional relationship and a linear function is all proportional relationships have to begin at the origin 0, 0, whereas a linear function does not necessarily have to begin at the origin. We'll talk a bit about that. November, I want to talk about linear regression as a real fun tool in the calculator to help you figure out your regressions. Um, Next, Um, month of November, I also want to talk about solving linear equations and inequalities with one variable. Inequalities are fun. There's a couple different tricks that I've learned to help making inequalities even easier to understand. What I want to cover in December and January is writing system of and solving system of equations. For some kids, this is a little bit more challenging, but again, that graphing calculator will make this really, really easy, easier for you to understand. What do I want to do? For in January, I want to talk about exponential functions. Now, the difference between an exponential function and a linear function is that in a linear function, the variable is x. And an exponential function, the variable is in the exponent. So instead of saying 2 squared, we would say that we would say uh, uh, 2 raised to the power of x. Um, it's it's not a hard concept, but we'll talk about that, and you'll be very good at it. Polynomials, we'll talk about that in February. Goal is to get to quadratics in March, and in the year with a little bit of statistics. Our Regents exam is in June, so we're going to be have a packed schedule. So again, I appreciate you guys asking the questions for this second round of questions from Mr. McCray.